neck and arms, fully binding me. It didn't stop the tears from flowing. I could only think I was about to die or meet a fate worse than death. I cried out over and over in my head for my parents. Kurfiri-irf. With his voice reaching what seemed to be a peak, a wave of energy shot from me into the surroundings. Everyone who was standing turned and walked toward me. I could only stare, as the man who looked like he'd crawled out of a sewer touched my shoulder and burst into flames. The fancy woman was next, followed by nearly 100 people on the train. With each flame, I could feel a force rising in my chest. Soon it was just me and the tall man left on the train. I prayed that it was over, then noticed the man finishing another chant. What more could he do? Before I could find out, the train jerked again. Maybe whatever magic he used on it was wearing off, but my stiff body started to fall forward. My head smacked his chest, and just like the others on the train, he burst into flames. I blinked as the world faded to darkness. I can't believe a perfectly good dungeon has been sitting here wasting away. If I find Wes, I'm going to kill him. Hello? I tried to say, but nothing came out. I tried to open my eyes, but still, nothing happened. Azaria, are you finally awake? Asked the voice. It was cold, making it sound like this was all my fault. I tried to reply again, to no effect. Look inside yourself. You should sense a ball of power there. Try to push it out. I did as I was told, and looked to the center of the darkness. At first, I floundered around like a fish out of water, but I eventually found the spot the voice was talking about. It pulsed, reminding me of a heartbeat. I pushed and felt the darkness around me lift considerably. When I paused, I found I was in what looked like a ruined tunnel. A burned-out husk of metal and glass were at the center of the tunnel. With a stab of pain, the memories of what had just happened flooded back to me. Was I dead? Surely if I could feel pain, then that wasn't the case. I expanded the field more, and suddenly a woman glowing a brilliant yellow appeared in my vision. Ah, finally. You know it is rude to make a goddess wait 5 days, said the woman with a glare in my direction. What's going on? I tried to scream. I was, however, still voiceless. She looked something over with a critical eye and nodded. Good. It appears you're mostly there. I am the goddess Terleza. You have been chosen by us to become a dungeon. Why and how is none of your concern. The earth you once knew is no more. She paused as if mulling something over. That's not actually true. Your planet is remarkably steadfast in sticking to what they've created. As a result, our projections have had to be corrected. The whole time the woman monologued, I was screaming in my head. If I'd had a physical form, I would have rushed her and tried to strangle her. Sadly, I just had my ghost-like outline that couldn't touch a thing. This was unfair. Why did I have to put up with this? The woman looked at her wrist and nodded. It has officially been a year since the beginning of the change. You're behind your siblings. Hopefully you don't end up destroyed too quickly. She took a deep breath and rubbed the back of her head, then waved her hand. A burst of light flooded into my perception center. That should help you get started. And as an added bonus, I'll allow you to bring one item from your past here. With that, she vanished in a burst of light. I was left alone in the ruined subway tunnel with only my thoughts. Needless to say, I silently screamed into the stillness for a good while. I eventually screamed myself out. Whether it took just a few minutes or a day, I personally had no way of knowing. I knew if I had a physical body, I likely would have been huddled in a corner crying my eyes out. When I finally calmed down, I took a good look around. The first thing that